Hello and welcome back to CrankyCast. Today I'm going to begin my adventure in Tyranny, the newest game by Paradox and Obsidian. So I guess in this game it's going to be a blind playthrough. Never played it at all yet. It's I guess the description on the back of the box type description is that an evil overlord has conquered the entire world and I'm one of his trusted lieutenants. Or something like that. And then the adventure starts from there. So we'll see how that goes. I kind of looked over the character creation a little bit so I could have some idea of what I'm going to make for a character. It's not going to be any kind of min-maxy character. I have no idea what characters are good and which are bad. But I have kind of an idea of a template I want to do. I'm basically thinking of doing like based off a character in a book called The Stormlight Archives. It's a series by Brandon Sanderson. There's a character in there named Kaladin who he goes through a bunch of hardships and ups and downs and all kinds of stuff, but as characters do in the fantasy type genre books. But basically in that series he was basically a really good fighter with a spear. And then he also gets some magical powers later on. I'm not going to stick strictly to playing it as his character or anything like that. I'm just going to use him as a template. But so I'm going to try to go like a two-handed spear style. Although I'm going to fudge a little bit on the, towards game mechanics more than role playing. So I'll start off with like two-handed weapons and then use any kind of weapon I can find, whichever weapons are best. But if I have the option to pick a spear, I'll pick a spear. And then I figured that the closest thing to the magic skills he gets in the books would be like the shock spells. So I'll take that as a secondary and kind of mix those together with spear fighting. And then basically for his decision making, when I'm making decisions in the world, I'm gonna try to go with the more intelligent decision over like just a brute kind of decision. I'm gonna go more towards trying to protect people over just mindless slaughter. So yeah. So let's go ahead and start the game and make the character and all that and get started. So I'm just gonna play in normal difficulty. I don't want it to be too hard or anything like that, so.
For over 400 years, the armies of Kairos the Overlord have swept across the known world. All who stood against them fell before their might. Even the Archons, women and men of immense power, were forced to kneel, chained to the Overlord's will. Now Kairos' final conquest has come to our corner of the world, and two of the Overlord's armies compete for the honor of taking our lands. The elite Disfavored, and the teeming horde of the Scarlet Chorus. The voices of Nerat, Spymaster and Archon of Secrets, guides the fierce and undisciplined masses of the Scarlet Chorus. With each battle, the Scarlet Chorus grows stronger, as the defeated are given a simple choice: serve or die. Grave in Ash, Archon of War and the Overlord's most loyal general, leads the Disfavored. Though small in number, Kairos' ironclad legion has never met true defeat in open battle. Watching over the two generals is Tunon, the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice, eldest of Kairos' minions. Tunon brings Kairos' laws to newly conquered lands, aided by the Fatebinders, judges and executioners of the Overlord's laws. You were among the youngest of the court of Fatebinders when Kairos' armies came to our lands. How could we have known that the fate of thousands would rest in your hands.
Okay. So it seems like the Unfavored is the disciplined elite, and the Scarlet Chorus are like the masses, where they just get in slaves and captives and stuff like that. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to lean towards the Scarlet Chorus and take those undisciplined masses and make them loyal to me. Now, I have no idea if this is even possible in the game, but I'm thinking that's what I'm going to go for over the elite, fighting forces. I'm going to kind of look down upon them as, thinking they're so good, Anyway, let's make Kaladin here. I'm going to make him just a normal body type. I don't know which face I like. Let's just go with that one. Hair color is kind of black. Let's check out these voices a little bit.
On the lookout. My wounds are slowing me down. I need...
Oh, that's female. I think I'm going to go with the male noble.
You learn something every day. I'll just hold on to this.
Does he have any tattoos? Got a skeleton hand. Oh, what's that? Now, like I said, even though I'm not going to fully roleplay as Kaladin from the books, I'm going to take bits and pieces. Like, he does have a tattoo on his forehead that says slave. I'm sure there's nothing exactly like that, but I think marking his face might be a good idea, though. Just, let's make something kind of evil looking. I think that looks pretty good. Let's get some long, shaggy hair. Alright. Kind of like that one. Yeah, that looks all right for that. Let's see if there's any portraits that look similar to that anyway. Not really. I think I'm going to go with that one, though. That's closest. How did I join Kairos' army? There's a bunch of different choices. Pit fighter, hunter, guild apprentice. I think I'm going to go with the noble Scion. I have a noble background, but basically sold into slavery. The noble Scion basically says, born to noble parents, you were groomed for leadership. Your youth spent on letters, history, and rhetoric, and other matters of culture and statecraft. Though you had wealth and creature comforts, you were expected to grow up quickly and bear the honor of shepherding others through prosperity and war. When your parents came under accusation of sedition, you were sent to the court of Tunon, Archon of Justice, to defend your family's actions. Your parents were found guilty, their sentence, the dissolution of the treasonous estate. Eloquently pleading your own ignorance on your family's actions, you negotiated your most important deal yet, immunity from the crimes of your family for the simple cost of swearing fealty to the Archon himself. Despite the unwilling induction, your education and savvy made you a valuable addition to the Archon's cadre of enforcers. And so, And so long as you remain in good standing, your family just might be allowed to live. So I basically started off from a wealthy estate, and now I'm basically a slave to the Archons. Alright, now for this. I'm going to go with Greatsword, which gives me the two-handed weapon skill. And like I said, I'll use swords if I need to, but if I have the option to pick a spear, I'm going to do that. So we got Sunder, which is basically a powerful overhead attack that reduces target's armor, or Cleave, a sweeping cone attack that hits multiple enemies. I think I'm going to go with Sunder for now. And then for my secondary, I'm going to go with Shock Spells. So it looks like I start off with a Charged Fist attack for that, sending enemies flying back with it. Let's pick some colors here. I think I'll just go with some white to start off with. I'm not necessarily going to go like a good path, but I'm not going to go pure evil either. I think I'm going to go... Basically what I'm thinking is that I have a job to do as a lieutenant for the Overlord or whatever. And so I'm going to do that job well. I'm not going to like completely rebel against him or anything like that. But I'm also not going to just brutally slaughter people or commit, heinous crimes intentionally. But I will, do what I need to do to get the job done, kind of thing. So let's see here. I have to pick a sigil for my banner. I was thinking that kind of looks like a spearhead, so I'll go with that for now. With a basically a white background with a red spear on it. That's what I'll go with for now. Then I'm going to call him Kaladin. Alright. So I'm going to have to divide up my skills a little bit here. So I'm guessing I need these 4 skills. So let's just put 2 into each of them. I might be spreading my talents out a bit too much, but I'll deal with it. Let's see if I can get both of these up to 30. Yep. Oh, that's 31. Let's put 2 into parry. And 2 into athletics. I got some two-handed weapon skill, but everything else is kind of middle of the road, I think, for now. Do I want to do Conquest or Quick Start? Well, definitely for a first playthrough, I have to do Conquest. Let's begin.
All the world has fallen to Kairos, and now the Overlord's eye is on the Tiers, our home. The last corner of the world free of Kairos' reign. 2 armies, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, march south from the Northern Empire, the last realm to fall to Kairos a century prior. In the early days of 428, Kairos' armies arrive at the Gates of Judgment, the mountainous border that we Tiersmen so long believed unassailable. Unable to agree on a unified plan of defense, the various leaders of the Tiers sit and wait for each other to deal with the conquerors, until it's too late.
During the conquest, you will decide your character's actions during Kairos' invasion of the Tiers, shaping the world through which you will adventure over the course of the game. Each choice you make affects your character and how major factions of the Tiers respond to you. Your decisions matter. Choose wisely. 428 TR, Year 1 of Kairos' conquest. The Bastard City. The Bastard City stood on the northern border between Kairos' empire and the Tiers. Built upon a natural harbor at the crossroads between realms, the city was a nexus of commerce. To the Tiers, it was a center of all wealth. To a northerner, it was little more than a backwater trading post. Its symbolic status as a gateway to the continent made it a natural first target in Kairos' military conquest. Circumstances were ideal for you to prove your worth as a soldier in Kairos' armies. Taking this city would send a message to the rest of the Tiers. Kairos' will is insurmountable. Now I have to select a token on the map to begin. We got Gates of Judgment. We got Infiltrate the Tiers. Let's see here. I don't really know which one to pick. So it looks like in the Gates of Judgment, this is where Kairos' armies cross the mountains and establish a foothold. Or I could infiltrate the Tiers. Both armies sent their forces to prepare the way. Let's go with the infiltrate the Tiers and see what happens. History would remember the Gates of Judgment as the first battle of the conquest, but the real combat unfolded with advance units of both armies preparing for the coming war. The Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus each had a plan to infiltrate the capital city. Which army do you join? And I had mentioned before that I was thinking of going along with the Scarlet Chorus. So I'm going to conscript enemy fighters for the Scarlet Chorus. You joined the Scarlet Chorus as they raided villages and small towns, conscripting every able-bodied man and woman into the army. The voices of Narat emphasized the rewards of conscription and enslavement over wanton bloodshed. Apparently, his soldiers needed the reminder. The howling mobs of the Scarlet Chorus found easy pickings among the villages and frontier towns. Rallying an experienced gang under your control, you flooded the unprotected settlements with a deluge of bloodthirsty soldiers, rounding up the innocent for merciless rites of conscription. The young and infirm alike received makeshift weapons, and examples were made of all who challenged your forces. Bolstered with fresh recruits, your army gathered strength for the invasion to come. Now it looks like I have two more choices. I got Inside Agent. You found an ally within the city to prepare the way for the approaching armies. Or Containing the Fire. The Bastard City's resident fire mages threatened the first leg of the conquest. Kairos' forces put a stop to their unchecked power. So I can fight some mages. Or I can find an agent within the city. I think I'm going to find an agent in the city. With the border garrison captured by your disfavored allies, you traveled ahead of Kairos' armies and lurked in the shadows of the Bastard City. You decided that converting one of the locals to Kairos' side would help bring the city to its knees. After all, corruption starts from within. I can recruit a well-informed guard captain or a fast-talking smuggler. And it looks like the guard captain was the Disfavored and the smuggler is Scarlet Chorus. So I'm going to go with the fast-talking smuggler. You came to an arrangement with a well-connected smuggler who knew how to sneak agents of the Scarlet Chorus behind the city walls. The Scarlet Chorus were better operatives than soldiers, and this work required a subtle touch. After accepting this deserved payment, the smuggler uncovered a long-forgotten tunnel that intersected with the sewers of the Bastard City. Armed with maps of the subterranean layout, your Scarlet Chorus allies fanned out to occupy various city districts undercover. They spent the ensuing weeks murdering key officials and sabotaging defenses whenever possible, weakening the tier's capital under the very noses of its leaders. Betrayal of the Bastard City. Your tactics of infiltration placed you in the Bastard City ahead of the main armies. Your work softened the city's defenses for the arrival of Kairos' forces, but you wanted a decisive gesture that would give your allies a meaningful advantage. How did you assist in the fall of the Bastard City? I can duel the city marshal. I can incite a riot. Or I can spread fear through assassination. Alright, so I have no idea what this symbol means. So, I think I'm going to stick with my path and incite a riot with the Scarlet Chorus. Oh, maybe I can just click on this. Oh, it actually gives me an ability if I do this one. Oh no, I'm gonna stick with it though. Spreading the word of Kairos, you converted the poor and disaffected into the hidden army of the Scarlet Chorus. Once the dust settled, the army wished to bolster their troops with these sleeper cells. Oh, and I actually do get an ability for this one too, a Searing Palm. Interesting. It didn't take much to convince the Bastard City's downtrodden that Kairos was the superior power. You armed them with weapons and knowledge of a signal you would raise when the time was right. As the armies appeared outside the walls, you ignited the spark that fanned their anger into a full-scale riot. The chaos they spread in Kairos' name weakened the city to such an extent that its inevitable fall was but a formality. Alright, so I have more choices to make, but I'm going to end this episode here and continue on in the next episode. So, I'll talk to you later. Bye.